Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to invite you to a brand new free masterclass called the 5-Step Holiday Sales Playbook. I'll be handing over my 5-step system to you, which has helped me make millions of dollars in jewelry sales over the years. It's exactly how we train our top tier brands to grow their sales every year, especially during the holiday season. Now, I know how challenging it is to grow jewelry sales when you have so much to do to run your business, especially at this time of the year. That's why I'm handing over my 5-step playbook for free on this 90-minute masterclass. I'm going to be sharing with you how Lindsay 2x her sales during some of the slower months of the year just by following this system. And I'm also going to share with you how Heather tripled her sales over this time last year, and we haven't even hit the holiday season yet. So if you're ready to adopt better habits, double your sales, and escape overwhelm in 30 days or less using this holiday sales system, head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/sales playbook to save your seat for free. It's available for a limited time. So check it out right away. I'm here with Chelsea Farmer, our head coach, and I'm so excited. We're going to be talking today a little bit more about how to navigate hard times, or how to navigate your business during hard times, because a lot of you are actually doing really well right now. Some of you are feeling bad about selling. Some of you are maybe having some hard times, but the angle of it is that, what do you do when things feel like they're a mess in the economy and we're in an election year, and how do you show up and still be authentic and put yourself out there and grow your business without feeling bad about it? So this is going to be an open discussion, and we're just going to chit chat. So we're going to open it up for questions and for anything that anyone wants to share or ask.
Or struggling with.
Or that you're struggling with, yes. But I wanted to start this off because you said to me, we have to do something about this. We've changed the schedule for this event so many times. And you were mentioning that people were feeling bad about selling. So why don't we start there?
Yeah, because I think, with the economy and with people thinking about it's election year and different struggles and wondering what is going to come up, a lot of you have mentioned that you feel almost uncomfortable with the marketing or getting the sales and promoting and pushing that more. And I think that this also kind of came up during COVID, during the pandemic and everything too, where people were like, I don't want to sell, everything shut down, a lot of businesses were shutting down. But personally, my sales were up over 400% during the pandemic. And I think you have to really think about what steps you can put into place and how you can serve your customers better, instead of it feeling like you are bothering them or you're worried about their finances or what their situation is. How can you pivot and serve them better? And what can you do to make it feel more community driven? And people want to see you succeed, right? People want to support your business. So if you can really dive into that when times are hard, even when you're struggling, coming up with different ways to create more of a sense of community in your business, because when you have that, that's what actually, I know that's what helped us during the pandemic, was really focusing on the community building, different things that we could do with our customers, different ways that we could serve them and create more. Everybody was stuck at home, so I was like, what can we do to hang out with them more, because they're trapped? So we would go live in a Facebook group and start making coffee dates with them and having conversations and really creating a better sense of community. And because we were doing simple things like that, then they just wanted to support our business, and they were watching other businesses close, especially if it was just a brick and mortar, but really leaning into how they can support and keep your business alive. Because like I said, people do want to see you succeed. They want your business to stay alive, especially if they know you and you do have a good sense of community inside of it.
I love that. Also, I think that making the assumption that people don't have money to spend is your own frame of reference. There's a lot of people who are not really hurting right now, regardless of what's happening to you. Ashley was saying yesterday that her business is so profitable and doing so well right now in the Midwest, which would typically be a place that would be struggling during times like this, which is interesting. It's fascinating to me to hear that.
And I honestly think it's because it's an experience. That's what people want. They don't just want a product. That's what they go to Amazon for, right? You go to Amazon if you just want some freaking dry shampoo. You're not trying to have an experience with your dry shampoo, but it's completely different when, usually you're not, but I
don't know, dry shampoo is an experience for me. It extends my hair washing by like 2 to 3 days.
But like, it's not like you're having like this interaction and you're not like, oh, I have a community with like my dry shampoo company. Like things like that is not necessarily how it is. But with Ashley's business, similar to what I was just talking about, it's creating like that experience, and that's what people want. Because you can get whatever you can get on Amazon, like delivered instantly, but it's almost like it's taken away that like connection with people and having those relations and getting like drawn in to having that sense of community with your business. I think that's like, you know me, I'm like a big fan of creating almost like friendships with your customers.
You're so good at that.
Olga's amazing at this too, because it's like, once again, an experience. Like, what can you do to make people feel seen when they're shopping with you or working with you, to where it feels more like something custom and a relationship that's being built.
Yeah, so even just remembering something that maybe, if you have a retail store, I know some of you do, something that happened in a conversation, and shooting that customer just a personal DM or text message or in email if that's all you have, and just thanking them and then recounting what you heard them say in just a quick note. And they're gonna remember you and be like, oh my, wait, what? They like remembered that? And that starts to create this long relationship. I mean, there's so many things that you can really do to create those.
And we've talked about this before in conversations, but like also if something as simple, like if somebody purchases from you and you can write them a little handwritten note if you're like shipping their order or something like that, what we do really good is we say this will pair so well with X, Y, and Z that they previously purchased. Or if you have product coming in, you know, you do custom pieces, one of a kinds and things like that. If you have a piece come in and you think of a customer, as soon as you have that, sending them a message. We talk about this, you know, like reaching out like old school ways of moving product. But if you can reach out to them and say, oh my gosh, like I just created this one of a kind piece. It totally made me think of you. It would pair well with X, Y, and Z. It still is making it feel like a one-on-one situation and creating that relationship versus, you know, sometimes just sending out an email to the masses. So.
Exactly. So I love the idea. This is like one of my favorite strategies. You all heard me talk about it like a million times. I just got a text message this morning from Alice and Olivia, and there's a stylist there at the store. I purchased a couple of things for speaking and stuff like that there. So they remember because I wore this red outfit to the Powerhouse Women event, but also to this photo shoot that I was in for South Scottsdale magazine. And immediately they're like, stalking me on my profile, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm keeping that one. And one of the things that was so remarkable about this is that like he's reached out to me 3 or 4 times. We have new stuff in the store. We're doing a 30% off promotion, like reaching out to me for more purchases on an ongoing basis. And this all started back when I lived in New York City. I bought a lot of clothes at Veronica Beard. Started with this one jacket that I have that I love. It's like a rose gold metallic leather jacket. I've worn it so many times. Best investment ever, like one of those investment pieces. The person called me when it went on sale, and I was like, awesome, now I can spend a little bit less, and like they still have my size. She remembered me 4 months later, reached out to me. We have a bunch of new stuff in the store. I was just thinking like I needed to get some fresh looks for some speaking things that I was doing. And I'm like, I don't have time to go in, I'm leaving tomorrow. And she's like, well, why don't I messenger it to your house? I just need to secure it with a credit card. We won't charge anything until it's returned. And let me make it easy for you. I ended up spending like $1,200 because they just made it easy. And so the easier you can make it for your customers, the more you will sell. And it's literally just coming from a place of service. Like, hey, here are some new things, or here's some new pieces that I got in, or like, you know, Erin, maybe it's like, here are some of the new stones that I have in, like, do you want to order a custom or something like that? Or I'm just following up on the pieces that you bought last month. How are you enjoying them? You know, here are some other things that you might enjoy to style with them. Like, there's just a lot of different things that you can do to be of service and always have a way to reach out to someone who previously bought from you, thank them for supporting your small business, and then going in and saying like, here's what's available now if you want to add anything to your collection. If they don't buy anything, just don't be attached to it. This is really about getting the reps in. And
it doesn't mean
always be, and they might not come back later. Like, I'm not buying anything from David Paul right now just because I'm not shopping right now, but I know that he's going to be the first person that I look up when I need the next outfit for something to speak because of all the statement pieces that they have. So just know that like, even if it's a no now, it's not a no forever.
Yeah, and also like I think a lot of people think that they're bothering people
Yes,
when they're
let's talk
reaching
about
out. But, or even like email marketing, like I don't want to send emails, I don't want to bother people. And I'm like, well, first off, they signed up for your list.
Excuse me, Lindsay. Wait, what did you say? Wait, let's talk about what Lindsay said when we interviewed her a couple of weeks ago. You hated getting emails.
Oh, I don't hate getting emails.
Yes. I hate getting emails, and then they told me to send emails, and I started sending emails, and now I'm like selling an email. So
yeah.
Let's talk about that.
A lot. Yeah, I mean, people can just click unsubscribe. They're big girls. They can ruin themselves.
Yeah.
It's not our fault that you don't like the email. Stop getting it then.
Yeah.
It's a choice that you make.
And people will, like if people unsubscribe, like I think a lot of people take stuff so personally. Like if somebody doesn't respond to a message, and because we're the face of the company, and so you're also like emotionally tied to whatever is happening. But sometimes people are just busy, or sometimes, you know, it's the new year and my resolution was to unsubscribe from a bunch of emails. And then I realized I'm not getting emails from people, and I'm like, well shit, now I need to go resubscribe because I don't know what Lindsay's up to. But if you think of like everything that you're doing, if you can pivot and think I'm coming from a place of serving my customers and creating this experience for them instead of bothering them, because you're not bothering people. Like Lindsay said, they'll just unsubscribe if they don't want to hear from you. Like it's not that big of a deal, but also like taking things so personally and feeling like it's, I think that's why people don't do a lot of the marketing and don't do a lot of reach out, because they're like, well, what if like this happens? And it's always a negative thing. It's never like, what if I send an email and I get 50 orders?
Yeah.
I know. Like, what if I send an email and one person unsubscribes?
And that's all they can focus on. Yeah. Oh, I got 5 orders, but someone unsubscribed from my email. I'm bugging them.
Yeah. So definitely like thinking of like what's the best that could happen instead of what's the worst that could happen, which is what I feel like everybody focuses on. Like, oh my gosh, this is going to be bad, but what if it's not? What if it's like awesome?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like Lindsay was not sending emails, and then she's sending 3 to 5 a week, getting sales from them consistently.
Yeah. And you're having an awesome
She
year.
doesn't, I can tell you, she don't
They're
give a
so
shit if they
short too.
unsubscribe.
Like I mean, it's like 2 lines and a picture and a button,
Yeah.
and then a cute sign off.
Yeah.
And that's it. It doesn't have to be
It's like-
like a newsletter or
Yeah.
you know.
It's not the newspaper.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Newsletter does not equal newspaper.
No.
Yeah.
It's not an article. Yeah.
It's just like, here's what's available to buy. Buy it now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So where do you want to go from here?
Does anybody have anything that they're actually like struggling with for feeling like they're actually bothering people, or when times are hard, do you feel uncomfortable? Like any specific scenarios or anything that make you feel uncomfortable about reaching out to people or connecting with them?
You're putting them on the spot.
I just can't seem to find the time or like focus to be the proactive salesperson. Like I'm like that in person. If I run into someone on the street, I'm very complimentary.
Yeah.
I will remember them and their dog's name, and you know, but you can't just wait till you run into someone on the street. You have to like, and I can't seem to get the people in my ether to do it either. Without maybe an app. Is there an app that is that like CRM?
So is this for the follow-up, like following up with people?
Yeah, like doing the like, you know, I get the handwritten note. I think we do that. But I'm saying like, let's say I made a custom ring for someone, and then, you know, I should be, of course, congratulating them when they get engaged. But then maybe I see that they got married, so then we're saying congratulations and like sending them a gift, or maybe they just had a baby, and we're like, there's so much going on that I can't seem to like.
First and foremost, you need something to track the custom orders, especially because this is like a brilliant thing. And talk to me after, because I have something that might help you with that. Just remind me. But track the custom orders in a CRM. So you can use HubSpot, but there's a ton of other ones.
Monday.
Use Monday. So use Monday. And then the way that I would set it up is like, okay, so try to find out when they're getting married, so you have a reminder to send them out something. And also, if designing a wedding band might be something that's possible too for that, then you can reach out to them for that. Once you know when they're married, put their anniversary date in your computer, try to get their birthdays, like all the things, and set automatic notifications saying like, reach out to this person. It's 6 weeks for their anniversary or 2 months until their anniversary. what I would do is like reach out to the husband saying like, hey, it's your 1 year anniversary. Like, I know it's coming up. Would you like to get something for your wife? And I'd be happy to design something for you, or here's what we have in stock in the store.
You could even create like swipe copy templates.
Yeah,
so
it's
that,
just like
your
automated.
Staff, somebody on staff could be in charge of this. They just copy and paste when they get the alert through the system, and then it just starts that conversation.
And then the other thing, I just want to address something else. It's like no one will do it. Like, are you holding your team members accountable for like their job roles and responsibilities? Like, or is some like one person on the team, is that their responsibility that you can assign that to and make it their own? Because to me, if you're paying people,
I feel like they're all so busy with everything.
so can anyone just schedule like once a week, like time to do that, like for maybe 2 hours, even if they came in before the store's open?
Yeah.
There's ways. It's just the desire has to be there from you and the leadership. I mean, I teach everything that I'm learning, so I'm just telling you that this is something that we're trying to integrate into our business too. It's just like more accountability from the team. It's like everyone says they're too busy. Well, this is a priority. Like, how do you make the time to actually get it done? And like, what else doesn't need to be done that's just like busy work or is keeping them occupied that's not a high functioning like revenue generating activity?
And it's also really going to help with like the customer retention. You know, it's a lot easier to keep a customer than it is to get new ones. And if you're following up and reminding them that you actually care, like, oh, we know that you just got married, or like it's a year anniversary. Are you looking for, like, there's all those like themes for like every like anniversary or whatever. Like if you have something that specifically aligns with that and you make it easier, especially for men, because let's be real, those are the ones who are like, I need this within 48 hours, express shipping. I was just talking about this yesterday. Like holiday season, I know when men are ordering, it's the only time we use UPS or FedEx. The rest of the time it's like women, they don't care, they have a time frame, they bought it 4 weeks in advance, the men are like 48 hours, let's go. So if you can make it easier for them, like if you can make it easier for them, and it's something that's like more of an automated process that is going out, but it's like, they're gonna keep coming to you because you make it easy for them, and they know that you're thinking of them, and that it's actually like a valued relationship. Like once again, like creating those connections and relationships and showing that you care. Hey, we created, like Tracy was saying, your engagement ring. Okay, you need a wedding band now because you're getting married. You know, it's a 1 year anniversary. It's, you know, your first, like they're having their first baby, like you were saying, like all those things. If you're cheering them on and supporting those life moments, I think that that really helps with like the retention and them always being, like always coming to you for any purchase that's coming up because they know that you actually care.
Yeah, everyone can do this.
Everyone, yes.
So this is not a fully framed out thought.
Perfect, we love this.
But you guys are like sparking something. So I have a lot of, we've started to call them collectors. So once somebody becomes a customer, then they just keep buying.
High class problems.
So, but they tend to be like in these kind of groups. So like there's these 3 customers that they somehow have the exact same taste. Like every time I show something at a show, if one of them asks about it, the other 2 are asking about it. And so they definitely have a similar taste or look or something. So I was trying to think of, is there a way for me to put these looks together, like I don't know, like a gallery of, you know, this is the Deborah look, this is the Sue look, this is the whatever. Because I also got on the feedback, people would like to see what other people are getting. And so I was like, is there some way for me to like organize that, or like maybe it needs to be more of a brainstorming, but like how I can kind of say, oh, well, Tracy, I think you would like, you know, this page. Why don't you look at that? And then it could kind of sell things, you know, for me, because they're just like looking through their stuff. Like,
Yeah, you could do this on your website, like as like a special landing page, like a separate landing page in your Shopify store, and just turn it into something where people, like it's like an organized collection. Like that's one option, but you could also send it out in like a digital PDF or something, like here are different looks that like people who also bought this bought this. It's almost like you're like the suggestive selling app that you can plug into your site, but you're just like doing it for them.
yes.
Almost like, you know how like a lot of retailers or wholesale lines, they'll create a lookbook, right, that they send out to stores of like what the collection looks like. So you can create that for all the different customer segments or kind of styles and create styling guides for them. It makes it super easy. This is just inspired something. Robin and I used to talk about this because when she would come in and teach wholesale, like she's got a lot of like random tricks up your sleeve, but there are things that people can do for direct to consumer too. Is like she would send out to her email list, or recommend, she used to recommend this all the time. Send this out to your email list, like a shopping list of all the people that you need to buy gifts for. And if you have some stuff in a giftable price point, and say like, I'm here to support you in your shopping needs. And you can start literally doing like, almost like personal shopping from your own collections to help people if you have a line that can actually do that. And it makes life so much easier. And then Joya, she's taught this strategy a couple times. This is one of my favorite things. And obviously everyone's got to try it for themselves. You know, I've had other people try it and they said, oh my God, this is amazing. And then other people have tried it and like, it didn't work for me, but try it for yourself because I think this strategy is so brilliant. About 8 weeks before holiday season or some big holiday season, she hosts a basically mixer in her store. And it's called the Wine and Wishes Party. So she has all of her customers come in and select items to put on a wish list. And then she's like, write your partner's name, phone number, like what the expected budget that you think he would maybe purchase from is. Write everything that you like. We're going to keep the cards on file. So anytime there is like an occasion or a gifting opportunity, me and my staff are going to reach out like 4 to 6 weeks before and support your spouse in your gift giving ideas. And then also we have this catalog. So if you ever want to celebrate yourself or something like that. So you host this party, they come in and pick everything that they like, and then she just keeps it on a card. The objective of this party, maybe some people will buy some stuff, but it's not to sell at the party, it's what you do after. So they're creating this like wish list of things that they want, and then, you know, like some people might be on a budget, they can't buy like 10 of Erin's pieces like all at once. So they're like, maybe they buy one, you know, for this holiday, and then the next one for the next holiday, and then there's a commission for the next thing. So if you have a strategy for that, I think it's super, or a collection that can work for something like that, I think it's a super great idea.
And it's also creating like an experience.
Yeah.
And the relationships
Making
with the
it
customers.
super easy for guys to buy. Like, I can't say this enough. Like, make it easy for men. Jason, every year he's like trying to figure out what we're like, just let's not do gifts because neither of us are really gift people. We're like, let's go somewhere fun instead. But like some guys, like some women, like they really love jewelry. Like I have this client in New York. What'd you say? Thank God.
Thank God.
I know. But I have this client in New York, and like he was the worst gift giver. He used to send his assistant to go buy stuff for his wife, and they don't even know each other. And it was like she gets stupid gifts, like, you know, she's like, he got me a Tory Burch bag. Like I would just buy that for myself anyway. Like it's like a weird thing. So she said to him, we were at a wedding together. She's like, you have to get jewelry made by Tracy. Like that's all I want you to do now. And so for years, like that's all he was doing. Also annoying because 2 weeks before Christmas, even though I've been messaging him 8 weeks before, would be like, I need a custom piece like in 2 weeks. And I'm like, it's too busy. I can't. But here's what I have if you want to buy it, you know.
I have a
But
question too.
hold on one second. The one thing that was so easy though is like if you get the kind of guys who like really don't want to think, they will spend anything. Like he would just drop $8,000 like it was nothing. I'm like, what about these opals? He's like, fine, let's do it, and also add it to her earrings. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Like the guy bought like $100,000 of jewelry from me like over time. So anyway, wanted to show that. Anyone who used,
I don't know if you were
Which
first.
is
Go
really
ahead,
quick.
Gemma.
So if you don't do a mixer,
yeah.
you suggested a shopping list that you write an email, and
Yeah.
So how does that go? Do you ask for their husbands or significant others' emails to?
You can.
Is that what you?
So here's how I would phrase it. I would send out like a cool PDF that they could download, but also like download, you know, your holiday shopping list, checklist or whatever. And then in the email, you can have some beautiful pictures of your jewelry, or if you're doing custom work, if that's kind of the direction you're going in, tell them your timeline and then say, you know, one of my favorite things to do is to help you get the best gift that you want for yourself. So reply to this email with your husband or your partner's details, and I'll reach out to them for you. And let's start a conversation. I used to do this all the time, but it was literally just hit reply to this email, and then we would start having a conversation in email, or I'd pick up the phone and just call them. Yeah, it's great.
My question's similar because I've actually had a ton of my customers ask specifically for that. Like, can I get a wish list to share with my family or my husband? So I'm wondering, is there an app that
Yes.
can
Oh,
do that
tons.
so it can go through the whole year, right? Because why
Yeah.
keep it to the holidays? Let's
You
just
probably
do
know
it
more
all the
about
time.
apps than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're on Shopify, yeah. There's
Mhm.
definitely apps. I would look at the reviews on them to see which ones have like the features that you want.
Okay.
Specifically because you're going to find ones that are just a wish list where it's like sign in with your email and create your wish list.
Okay.
And there's going to be others that are almost like a CRM wish list combination
Okay.
where it'll ask for anniversaries, birthdays,
Okay.
specific things like that and gather more information.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. What else do we want to talk about, Chelsea?
One thing I do want to mention is like
Try to know.
when we were talking about community and how my business was up like so much during the pandemic and things, I was doing things that were not selling, like you were just talking about a few minutes ago. Creating like any sense of community, even if it's just going live and showing how you would pair pieces, showing what you're wearing, different things like that. That's more like styling tips. That's not necessarily selling. Like we were talking about like the wish list get together event. I would just host virtual coffee dates and just chit chat with people. But whenever I was doing those, I would just be sharing like what's going on in my life and in the studio and things like that. People would always start asking questions about products and I wasn't the one to bring it up. So like people really are going to circle back and think about what you do. They know what you do, they know why they're there.
Yeah.
And even though the conversations that you're starting or the events that you're starting or anything like that, they're still going to circle back to the actual like products and what you do and bring that up in general. So anything that you can do, like DIY events, any experiences that you can create are really good for helping build up some sort of community. So I know a lot of you do like permanent jewelry, that's an experience, right? But like DIY events, shopping events, the wish list events, like all those types of things are gonna create like more of a sense of community with your customers, which does lead to retention
Yes.
and building those connections, so.
Also, this was a really cool strategy. You guys probably have heard me talk about Karina Harris of Waffles and Honey like over the years. During the pandemic, she did something. She has a group called the Diamond Insiders of all things, which is like her VIP like insider group. And she knew that during the pandemic that a couple of women had been laid off from their jobs, and so she felt she didn't want to like reach out and be like, oh well, you know, here's your voucher. So she ended up just sending them. Not to say that you guys should do this, but like sending them free pieces of jewelry during that time, just thanking them for supporting her business over the years. But if you know that people are going through a hard time and they can't necessarily invest in buying, just thank them for their support of your business over the years. I mean, just even like that kind of words of affirmation help you not only deepen the relationship that you have with them, but if they do have a friend or someone else that might have the money to spend on to shop with you, it might be an opportunity for you to like even say something along the lines of like, you know, I build my business on referrals and I'm so grateful for all the support over the years. If you have any friends, you know, who might be interested in my collection, I, you know, build my business on referrals. So there's like a lot of different ways where you can still leverage some of those relationships, even if people are kind of going through hard times. And also acknowledge like what's happening with them and just continue to be gracious.
Yeah. And another thing, the way we market our ambassador program is about people earning extra income. So if that's something that is something that you've been wanting to implement or add to your business, we come from a place of not, we need you to spread the word about our business. It's almost like the way we word it is like, do you need extra income? Do you want to earn free jewelry?
Yeah.
Or do you want to earn a commission on sharing your love for our products? And they're sharing like any products with anybody, even old products. But a lot of people hopped on that during the pandemic that were laid off. They were like, I can be an ambassador and earn some extra money right now. And it actually like helps support them in that way too, so.
Do you have a template for that? Because I think you have like an interview process, right? Or like you don't just.
No, we just have an intake, we have an intake form. I let anybody join now.
She used to not let anyone
I
join.
used to be
I told
crazy.
you about this. She
Yeah.
used
I
to be
used to be
like, you
crazy.
act like an ambassador before you're
Yes.
flowing.
Yes. Yeah. No, now we open it up for more people just because it took off really well. But before I was like, I only let people in who were already doing what I was going to require them to do when they got it. And it
She's
worked
so
really
snobby.
good.
Like she's like, oh, you cannot be an ambassador for my jewelry line unless you show me, you prove that you
that's
want
how,
to be it.
yeah, and that's how I got it to take off too, because I was like, you know, if you're already doing the job that I want you to do for free, you're definitely going to be even better at it if I'm paying you to do it. So.
Is there a template for that intake form somewhere? Or can we just?
Honestly, it was, so typically whenever I'm like bringing somebody on, I want to know how many pieces of jewelry they already have from us, because obviously they can't spread the word about it if they don't have it.
Yeah.
What are you gonna talk about, right? So that is one requirement, is that you do have to own pieces of jewelry from us. But honestly, I would just think of like what you want them to do. You're gonna have to reverse engineer it. Like, what's the outcome that you want from them, and then figure out the intake form, the questions that are gonna be required in order for them to like end up there. So ours is, you have to purchase jewelry from us or have some jewelry from us, because you can't show it off and spread the word about it if you don't even own it.
Also, Wendy Hively has done this really well too. She's basically organized like the expectation up front. Like, here's what you're
100%.
expected to do.
Yes,
How does that work?
so you can either do, and this is like, obviously fine jewelry is going to be different. You can do credits, you can give them a coupon code for, like, say, that they share with people for their first order, right? Like, I'm sure you guys have all seen people offer, off your first order you can get 15% off, and it's only that time. Or you can set it up where every single order that comes through that person is a commissionable link or code.
What do you do personally?
We do a discount code.
Every
So,
time?
yeah.
Like unique to that person, like if their name's Betty, that's like Betty 15.
Yeah.
And so you know how many people bought through Betty's influence.
And there's apps that you can use too. There's Lead Dymo, Reversion. I use Shopify Collabs now because it's free and easy, and I like things to be automated. I like my business to run while I do things like this.
Yeah.
She
coaches you
I
up.
put everything on autopilot, so yeah. But there's definitely apps.
She
I would
has
look
pouring
into
money
them.
in her business.
I would definitely look into reviews when you are looking into that, because everybody's going to have like different levels of what they need an app to do. So I'll always tell you what I use, but that's not like a one size fits all. But you can do like a coupon code, you can give them commission, you can do it to where they only get free jewelry. Like, you can customize it to what works best for your business, but giving them an incentive for free shipping or 15% off, $10 off your first order, whatever, is going to have whoever they're sharing it with, obviously, it's more enticing to make a purchase.
You know, when we do that, like, with like market customers or brick and mortar, like.
Yes. Are you on Shopify? Yeah, so with Shopify, if you use their POS, the app will actually, it integrates across both platforms. So when you enter their name, like on the POS, type up like their email, if they already have an account, it will automatically, like you can apply like the coupon code, or some apps will actually like populate it based off of, no, I think you have to have a coupon code on the POS, honestly. But you can definitely do it. It's just like rewards programs, like it goes across both platforms.
And you use the collabs.
Yes, yeah. And the cool thing about that is, like, you can also, if you are using collabs, you can actually search for influencers, if you wanted to, on their marketplace and reach out to people. I personally do this, and it's so cheesy, so my business is horse feathers. Guess what? I go into the collabs network and I search horse, because anybody who like has horses or photos of horses or says horse in their bio is going to pop up, and that's how basic I am on finding people. If I do want to reach out to them, I'm like, what word would I look for? Horse. Yeah.
Or feathers.
Well, no, I did specifically
Or
horses,
animals.
so I have like more like Western vibes for people. But yeah, that is like a later down the road thing. The number one thing that you can do if you're starting an ambassador program is, like I said, like, one, you can be super snobby like I was at the beginning, and I was like, you're already doing the job, you can have a code, and if you're not doing the job, you don't get a code yet. But the other thing that you can do is, I recommend just reaching out to your customer base at first. Like, that's the only way that I would launch an ambassador program, is your customers first, because your repeat customers or your good customers are immediately going to jump on that, because they already are wearing your jewelry all the time and loving it. And so now, if they're going to get a kickback for spreading the word about that, that's going to be your best bet.
So first, a personal email to them instead of like a mass email.
Yeah, you can do either.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just invite like your top 20 customers, and you could personally email them. Or you can invite like your entire email list, or you can invite, like, if you have good segments, just your VIPs that are repeat buyers. And it doesn't work for everybody. Like, for instance, Olka, they don't want to spread the word because they want it to be very exclusive, right? So it's definitely not like a business
It didn't work.
situation for everyone, but it works for certain businesses, especially if you're like already have that sense of community and collectible. It works best if you feel like your brand is very collectible, where people are purchasing multiple pieces on a regular basis. But yeah, what were you going to say about Olka's?
Well, I was going to say, similarly to Olka, I think that people would want to refer me out, but they had no desire to actually be compensated for it. So if you're doing higher end jewelry, sometimes they don't really care about.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes it's just like free shipping. Like you can do something really
There's
low
other things that you
dollar
could
and
do for
things
them,
that you
like
can do.
send
Yeah.
them a gift for referring someone.
Mhm.
The one other thing that I wanted to mention is before you launch or kick off like some sort of referral or ambassador program, see if there's interest before you put a lot of work into it, because I tried to do this and like no one wanted to sign up and they didn't want to earn free jewelry or commission for it. But I found just by giving great service to people that I naturally got referred.
Yeah.
So like you don't need to put a lot of energy and effort into it if it's not something that your customers aren't going to do.
100%.
Super easy for a lower price point
Yeah.
jewelry brand, super easy for someone like Chelsea with the type of jewelry that she makes. I think it would be easy for you, Tracy. But other types of businesses, like you might want to see if that's what your customers want from you before you
I
spend time
survey
doing it.
pretty much everything.
I think it
before
would be
start
great for you too, Ashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seems like you have a lot of community around your brand, and then be like, yeah, refer your friends to shop on my website, and I'll send you a free hat if you get like 3 people.
And you can structure it like it's any of these apps. It's really easy for you to set up a simple structure for it and make everything trackable. I would not do this manually. I've seen people try and use like Google Forms or like spreadsheets to track it. It's a nightmare. Don't do
Disaster.
that. Don't do that. Use an app.
What
People
about
are
like
making
a
things easy.
loyalty, like
Yeah.
customer loyalty type program?
Mhm.
Do you?
You could do that instead, honestly. Like they can either go hand in hand, you can have both, or you can do one or the other. So like a loyalty program is really good if you have repeat customers, especially for like permanent jewelry and things like that, people that keep coming back. I could talk for hours about loyalty programs. But yes, I definitely recommend having one. And once again, you would need to outline like the structure, like what they're gonna become, like what the reward is going to be for how many purchases, etc. Is it, they get 5 permanent bracelets and now they get the 6th one free, like a punch card. Yeah.
If your website doesn't have something that's automated, like I think
Yeah.
Shopify does,
Yeah.
but I'm not on Shopify. Is there another program that does it for you that you can? Does anyone know on Squarespace?
You just use an email CRM. So Flowdesk will do it, Klaviyo. I don't know, what are the other ones people use? Omnisend. What are you using for email?
MailChimp.
Yeah,
Is that-
you could still do automation on that.
Okay.
I would recommend switching though.
To Flow.
Maybe Flowdesk.
Lindsay is making the change right now over to Shopify because I have sold her on all of the awesome, and she was on Squarespace.
Is it hard to do to transfer? I looked into it.
There's a new
Square.
Yeah.
Is there?
Library.
Oh, we can talk later.
Yeah, you can just swap stuff over. Yeah,
too.
but no, Shopify is like amazing because everything, first off, is automated. There's so many apps to automate everything and have your business running on autopilot. Like everybody needs to have everything in automation where you are not doing the heavy lifting. Should be the actual like creating the community, the connections,
Yeah.
and those relationships, not all of the tech stuff. So automate anything you can.
That's why automation is part of the desired brand effect. Because it's like, you
Automate
have to
it
take
all.
the manual labor
Yes,
out of it.
rewards programs, ambassadors, all of it.
And it's easier now to do that.
Yeah, you can also hire like a VA on Fiverr to do it for you.
Okay.
You don't need like to do it yourself.
Yeah, I looked.
I give you
into it.
permission.
Yes, I always say hire what you hate. So definitely hire that out. You are not tech.
Hire what you hate.
Hire. That's how I make a list anytime I'm hiring anything. I'm like, here's the list of shit I don't want to do.
Does
Yeah.
everyone know?
This is your job
that
description.
Orange Shadow has a package
Yep.
for Flourish and
Yep.
Thrive customers.
Yep.
To do that.
And also, I was gonna say really quick, if you're trying to move to Shopify and you're on any other platform, most of them will have like an app integration where you can move over from it. Like even Etsy has one where it'll move, like if you're on Etsy at the moment, it can move all of your products over to Shopify as well. There's like,
cool.
there's all kinds of like easy moves. So definitely just, if you are moving to Shopify, anything at all, email lists, whatever, I would go into Shopify and then you will just find an app connection and it will merge everything. It moves it over for you.
It must be new, but yeah, I didn't see that.
Shopify wants to make your life easy. That's their goal.
Oh,
Or like Amazon.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions?
I actually have one for me.
Yes.
I love my community of customers. I have so many repeat customers, and they're so loyal. And I'm always saying, oh, I wish I could just like duplicate that person 10 times or 100 times. And I know it takes a lot longer to build, your community and your list. And I'm I'm not so great about my mailing list subscribers. My question is there, I'm not like a huge AI fan, although I know that this is something at JMC that I'm learning a lot more about how to make your life easier with AI. But my question is there like a way to use AI to expand your community, like for marketing? Is that like a
So are you specifically, I think what you're asking is you want to find more people like the people who are your
Yes.
best customers.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's when it's important to analyze who those people are, and then
Yeah.
start all of your marketing, all of your words, everything that you do is directly speaking to that person,
Yeah.
so that you draw in more of those people.
Yeah.
So I've been doing these brand audits for people, and I'm using AI a little bit. Like it's mostly like, you know, coming from my brain, so you know, whatever. But like, I use AI a little bit to say like, okay, if this is the type of person, and Claude is really good at this. It's better than ChatGPT with that. Claude. It's like ChatGPT on steroids, but it's not connected to the internet, so it's not going to give you anything current after a certain date. But it can do market research for you. So like one of the things that you could say is like, tell Claude that you have these dream customers and they have these attributes. This is about the age. This is their income level. These are all the things. You could use it, Olka, to plug in all that data you have.
Yeah.
And say, where are more people like this spending time? Where do they shop? What do they do for hobbies? Like, what are all those things? And see this entire list. So I had a VIP client who I was working with, and she was really struggling to sell her fine jewelry online. I personally think she has an unrealistic expectation of like what she was trying to do. But on the other side, I think she's missing the boat on like how to find them. And she was spending all this money on Facebook ads. I'm like, you're wasting money if you don't have a sales funnel set up. But she's getting no sales from her Facebook ads, like maybe 1 or 2 here and there. Occasionally a Google person would come in, but she's definitely in a deficit. Like it was making less than she was spending. So I identified all these customer segments for her, and I'm like, this type of segment you're going to meet at the golf club. You're not going to meet them on Facebook. This type of segment you're going to meet at a charity event. This type of segment you're going to meet here. And then this type of segment you might find in Google Ads or like Instagram, but the messaging has to be only for that stuff. And she's trying to be, you know, like
Speaking to everyone.
speaking to everyone. I mean, you know who I'm talking about, but like speaking to everyone, but also trying to be all the things. And then she has these beautiful daughters who are influencers, also trying to use them as the models. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense because the people who are actually spending the money with you are like 50.
Not that demographic, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So all of that stuff has to align, or you're gonna get like tons of bounces on your website.
Yeah.
And this woman has a great product, like it's super marketable, but it requires time to like actually dial in to these types of things, and like a really deep understanding of the buying habits of them. And if people are unwilling to take the time to like actually understand those motivations, and they don't want to take the time, but by the time you get to a point where you're running ads and stuff like that, it's like not worth it.
Yeah, because you don't know who you're running them.
Yeah, it's
to.
too broad.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And then, you know, on top of that, you know, when they're conglomerating like all these different kinds of fine jewelers in the same sort of, there's one thing from each of them in the same genre. I'm like, what makes you different than them? And that's what you want to focus on.
Yeah, but I think like also we have this in my business, when I'm designing something or like putting together like a collection, I can immediately think of like 2 to 3 customers, and I'm like, they're like, somebody's gonna buy this, and I specifically know who's going to buy what, and start designing like for those people. And the same thing with like when you're doing your marketing, like if you know that those diehard customers or repeat customers buy because of like a certain psychology or what it be, then start doing more of that.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do everything. You don't have to speak to everybody. You don't have to make all the things. I think that's also a problem. Somebody comes to you and they're like, "Oh, can you make this? Can you? Yes.
Yeah.
Should you? No." Like you probably don't need to, right? Because it needs to fit in with that like specific customer that you're marketing to, and finding more of those people. And you don't have to be everything for everybody. You need to be like the go-to for those specific customers.
I feel like I do that already, and because my business is on the smaller side, it's more manageable. So I think that I have a little bit of a block I want to expand my business, but there's a part of me, it's like, how can I do that and still serve my customers the way I do now? I have such, close relationships with them. And I don't know
I think that's actually a mindset issue.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, she's gonna talk.
Okay. But also I want to just talk about this, Gemma, because there's a lot of things that you're doing that you don't have to do. Building the relationships with the customers, you have to do. So what's all the busy stuff that you could take off your plate that someone else could do? You could hire an assistant in your studio.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you're making all of the jewelry, if you're outsourcing
I
it, but
have one assistant. She comes in. She's in college, and she comes in just part time, which really helps.
yeah, but maybe you expand that role to like a full-time role eventually
Yes. Okay.
in some way, shape, or form. But then, you know, that's just how businesses grow, is they hire a team. You don't have to be the person doing everything. So your business can expand if you want it to. It doesn't have to if you don't want it, if you just want to keep it like smaller. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have a, you know, lifestyle business.
Yeah. I'd rather grow though.
Yeah.
Since I'm here.
Yeah. You're welcome. All right. Any other, yes, Lindsay.
This totally backpedals from like AI and tech, but other than like condolence cards and birthday cards, what are some like really impactful snail mail things that you could do for customers? Like what would make the most impact?
Like a direct mail strategy for selling, or just like an engagement strategy?
I send a
Either.
Christmas card. So we send like a Christmas card to our top, I think, 100 customers normally when I pull it, and it's my family Christmas card.
Oh,
Yeah. And
that would be so sweet.
because I mean, like I show a lot of like the behind the scenes and my farm and my life and things like that, and I feel like it's just more. I think it adds that. Yeah, Olga's saying she does that too. I think it adds that like personal connection in, to where they don't feel like they're just a customer. Like I never want people to feel like they're just a customer. Like they're just another order. They're just another order number coming in, right? So I always want people to feel
They're
like
friends.
and I do get that when I meet people in person. They're like, I feel like I already know you because of like the way that I interact with them and already try and build those relationships. And the fun part is that when I started doing this, the next year, customers started sending me their Christmas cards. So I was like, oh, look at this. I was like, because I would be opening, I'm like, who the heck is this? And then I'd open it and see their face, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. So definitely, like, I think focusing on the relationships and the friendship connections, like, what's something that you would be doing for friends and family? Can you do that same thing with your customers so that they feel that relationship? Because once again, we're in an Amazon, we all love Amazon, but that's how people are shopping a lot of the time, and there's no experience with that. Hell, they don't even put stuff in a mailer half the time. Now it's just the clear bag with like whatever you ordered. And you're like, there's my underwear, thanks.
I know.
Right? Like, alrighty then, I guess everybody saw that, so mailman knows what kind of underwear I have. Yeah, like they're not even taking the time to package things anymore, so creating those other relationships for people shopping. And I also think, especially like back to, you know, hard times, financial struggles with people, they start to pay attention a lot more to where they're spending their money, right? And so if you can create those relationships where people feel like you actually give a damn, they're gonna be more likely to start coming back to you and staying with you. And I think that's why we have such a high customer retention rate too, is because, for multiple reasons, but it's because we try and create those relationships and want to always be like the go-to for whatever they need.
Yeah.
I have a question. So I do really well with Artful Home, and I always write a really nice thank you when someone buys a piece for me through Artful Home. But I've not added those people to my email list because that feels like poaching.
Is it against their terms and conditions?
I don't know.
Yeah, I would look into that first.
What is Artful Home?
Yeah. What's
It's
that?
I think it's like a drop shipping gallery, like online gallery.
It's a gallery, online gallery.
And then they curate, like they'll select you but then she's drop shipping her products
Correct.
directly, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, do you put anything in with it? Are you allowed to? So this is where things can get tricky, because I know specifically Etsy, you're not allowed to collect anybody's emails because they're their customers.
Right.
So I would look into if they are their customers, if that's how they consider them, or if you're allowed to even reach out to those people.
I have found that they're because they give you the gift boxes to ship in, and those gift boxes don't work well for me. So I use my gift boxes, which just has my name and company on it, no email or anything. So if they want to find me that way, they can find me that way. And I have had people. I mean, I've had some crazy things happen. One woman in 2 weeks bought 11 pieces from Artful Home, and then another 5 from my website, and then she went on eBay and found the pieces that were retired.
Psycho.
Started a relationship.
She wanted to be an instant collector.
She is not collecting over time. It's collecting in 5 minutes.
Might have had the same dream.
But so I have had probably, because I've been on Artful Home for just a little better than a year, and I've probably had maybe half a dozen to 10 people find me then on my website and purchase.
That's great. Good funnel.
But
That's
I,
a great funnel.
you know, have thought, I'll see what their laws are about that. Thank you.
And you can always send them just like an individual personal email that's not like adding them to your email list, and just with an invitation too. Like just saying, thank you so much for shopping on Artful Home. I really appreciate you supporting 2 small businesses, Artful Home and me. You know, if you ever need anything.
I write a handwritten note to all of my.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying you could also, if you have their email address, you could probably send them a personal email just thanking them too.
Okay.
Both, like
That
do
would be
double
okay
duty.
to do?
I mean, you have to check the terms, but like,
Or checking in, like I just wanted to see like how
yeah,
you know,
how you're
loving
enjoying
the
your
hearing.
piece. Yeah.
Okay.
That you purchased on Artful Home, and then you just start a conversation, and you're just really doing customer service.
Yeah, and your website just happens to be underneath your name.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to write that somewhere where I'm not going to lose it, and
You have a journal.
You have a
sitting
notebook in front of you.
I'd write it on my hand when we've got permanent marker. No, I'm serious.
We have one somewhere. We'll get one for you later.
Do many people do birthday cards to their clients? Do you guys do that?
We don't mail one, but we do our rewards, sends them an automated email for that, and they reply to it. They say thank you. And I'm like, oh, it's automated.
What rewards
But yeah.
app do you use?
Smile. I get that in my review thing confused all the
I
time.
know, I get it
It's the
confused
same-
too. I'm like, is Smile the one that does the Facebook
And now I'm like,
retargeting?
Smile is the one that's like, it makes them happy because they get rewards. I absolutely love it. And they love it. And I think that that's really helped with customer retention too, because it's kind of like, you know, if you can go to Starbucks where you're earning points for getting your coffee, or you would hop over to like other random coffee shops, if somebody's rewarding you, you're gonna start, like you're gonna stick with that and stay going to that one place. So the same thing with like a rewards program. It's just, this isn't new. This is like punch cards, you know. Some people still do punch cards. So, but yeah, it's just like that. It's just like any sort of retention
So
model.
it can work for online orders and POS?
Uh-huh.
Where they, yeah.
Yep.
I just launched mine yesterday, and we used GrowWave, so you might want to try the GrowWave app. It connects.
Make sure that it connects with your POS though, because you're in person too. So yeah, make sure whichever one you choose actually like will go across both of the platforms.
I don't know if you remember, but when during COVID, we had tried to come up with ways to engage our customers more. And I don't know who also doesn't discount their jewelry, because I don't. It's artwork, so I have to be very mindful of that. But what I did do that really helped on return on investment was I sent a gift certificate to them. It wasn't a discount, it was a gift certificate with a code, and it really helped a lot. And I wanted to bring that back, because I know we're wondering what we can do to re-engage. And it was Anna Crane, am I saying it?
Yeah.
She was like, I sent it out and I wrote "with gratitude" at the bottom of the note,
Yes.
with that little, and it
Such a
helped
good strategy.
so much. Really brought them back in.
And that's like a snail mail thing too that you could do.
Yeah.
Like you could send a birthday physical, you know, card or
Dollar
letter.
amount
Yeah,
versus
for them with like a
a
handwritten
signature,
code or
yeah.
something like that. If you want to make it more personal, if you want to automate it. But any sort of rewards, like that's the other thing. If you don't discount your jewelry, having a rewards program is really good, because you set it and then they eventually like earn a gift card, but it's after so many purchases. Like the way you structure it.
I think this was where I was actually going when I was talking about Karina with Waffles and Honey. I went a little bit on a tangent, but it's like doing this direct mail piece where you send out like a gift card with. That's why I was asking, is it to make new sales, or is it to just nurture the relationship?
Customer retention.
Yeah. And both, it works for both. So send out a direct mail campaign 6 weeks before the holidays. Say like, here's a $50 gift card or whatever the dollar amount that works for you to shop on our site during this period and have it expire, ideally in a short period, semi-short window. And I think people have like insane uptake rates, especially if you're sending it to just like the best customers that you have. It really does work, like 30% conversion rate, 40% conversion rate.
Yeah, I do that at Christmas. I send a thank you, you're the most awesome customer, and I make the code that they use, like, I am awesome, or I am beautiful, or whatever. So that's their code. But also just keep in mind the financials behind that. Like if you give a $100 gift card, depending on your markup, that's only costing you $25 or $50 or whatever. So just keep that in mind. That's not, you feel like you're giving away all this money, but it's really only costing you.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's also relative to your price point, and like you can have a minimum order that they have to place with it. Like it's not just like free money.
I learned that from you guys, and I also want to add a caveat here. Prices are a little higher. When I did that, I was shocked because people bought and didn't use the coupon. They bought it at full price anyway, so that,
I've had that happen too.
Yeah.
Like, did you want to use your thing? No.
So that was very cool.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm rich, I don't need my I don't need to use
Thanks for
it.
that.
Yeah.
What's a message of support? I think
Okay, great. Any other questions before we wrap this up? Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. Have an awesome holiday season. Have you heard about the Jewelry Marketing Collective? It's our sales-focused membership community that's designed to help you unlock more sales, increase your website traffic, grow your email list, and build an engaged social media following. The way the membership works is that each month we release a sales challenge and break down the exact steps you need to make more sales. Our next challenge is happening soon, and it's our holiday sales promotion and content creation challenge, followed by our Black Friday sales push. So if you'd like to join us for the Jewelry Marketing Collective and have a step-by-step strategy on how you can sell more this holiday season, head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/JMC for more details.